Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how the large age gap between you and your partner affects your relationship. Oftentimes, a lot of people say age is just a number, but let me ask you this question. Is age really just a number? How much age gap is too much age gap between you and your partner? And what are the consequences of this large age gap between you and your partner? These are the things we're going to be talking about today, because this relationship style of one partner being significantly older than the other partner has its own peculiarities. And before you get into that kind of relationship, you need to know what the challenges you'll be facing would be, and you know how to tackle these things. There was a time in my life actually where I didn't mind getting married to someone who was, I think he was like 10-11 years older than I am. Obviously that did not happen, not because of the large age gap between the two of us obviously, but a lot of other factors were in the mix. So when people see like two people of significant age gap between them trying to get married, a lot of people are like, so you've seen a sugar daddy, or oh, you've seen a sugar mommy, or you know, that kind of thing. A lot of people just feel like it's a transactional relationship and that one of the partners is trying to marry up, because obviously when you marry someone who is significantly older than you are, chances are that a lot of them will probably have made enough money, or you know, have gotten to certain stages of their life and their career, and they're probably comfortable. Then there's that, oh, so now people being judgy, basically trying to say, oh, this must be transactional, like you're marrying him for his wealth, or you're marrying him for that, or you're marrying her for this. I know a lot of celebrities also have like you know, large age gaps between them and their partners, but obviously they don't share a lot of the things that they go through with you, and you absolutely do not know that. But today I'm going to be sharing some general factors with you for you to consider before you get into marrying that person who you're head over heels in love with, but you absolutely have significant age gap between the two of you. Okay, number one, you have generational differences. And how this plays out is because you both are not from the same generation, so you can't relate to the same things. For example, if they have like, say for example, 15 years in between the two of you, that generation is kind of different from your generation. So when they're giving examples about like things that happened in their time, you absolutely cannot relate. Honestly, like, let's even talk about like the flimsiest of things now. If you talk to a child and tell a child that some years ago there was a television that had an antenna without which you can get no signal and you can't watch anything, I'm sure they'd just be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because today you have LEDs everywhere. You even have like projectors that you can just put into a wall or to a ceiling, and images will come up. They can see movies. You carry like really small, you know, stuff around, devices around, and you can stream things on them. Someone can absolutely not relate to, how can a TV have antennas? And that's how it is. Like, this person you're getting married to is supposed to be like your gist mate. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be besties and stuff like that. And then when you start gisting, like, a lot of things in your world are not the same. And so when I don't know, for me, it kind of feels awkward, because like if you're from different generations, then you can't relate to things in their world. And then they also look at you like, why are you so excited about this kind of thing? Like, are you a baby? Do you get what I mean? Maybe there's like a trend going on and you want to join the trend. They're just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why do you like, can you imagine like your partner who's like 20 years or so older than you trying to join you on a TikTok dance? Okay. I know you also say, well, there are people who are your age mates that do not want to join your TikTok dance, but it's even more awkward when they have a lot of years between you. And that's the kind of thing, like generational differences between you both will make you not relate to a lot of things together. And so I'm also not saying that they would not have places where they have common grounds or connections, but it might actually be hard to find those common grounds, you know, or connections. So another important factor to take note of will be sex drive. Generally, as people get older, the level of interest in sexual intercourse or sexual activity actually drops due to like lack of desire, for example, or low libido, or even general health, maybe they're poor health, or they have illnesses that they're struggling with or they're battling with. As people get older, they actually get, you know, sick, they have health challenges and stuff like that, which might not make sexual intercourse or activity top on the list for them. And sometimes it's also like hormonal changes, like women have menopause and stuff like that, and so you might not be at that stage where you really want to be having sex. And so if you're the younger partner and you are at a stage in your life where you are sexually really active, and your partner is not really active and has low libido and some of these illnesses, so that they can be sexually active for you, then it can cause a lot of frustration in the relationship and in the marriage. And then you might actually now be looking for other fixes or other ways to, you know, get sex and stuff like that, which can actually really be frustrating. Okay, so these are some things that you need to consider before going ahead and just thinking to yourself, again, is age really just a number? Another factor you want to think about will be friendship and friendship groups, right? So imagine like a situation where you go to parties, for example, with your partner, and then because he or she is at a certain age group, his or her friends will actually be of that age group as well. So imagine you as a younger person follows him or her to that party and you become the baby of the group. Just how awkward can that be? Or for example, you have friends and they are all in your generation and your age group as well, and you invite your partner to that party and your partner is like the parent of you all. You get what I mean? Like it might look awkward, you know, in certain situations, and so you might not feel like you always want to take your partner out to events, or two of you have certain social functions that you don't want to go to together, not because they don't want to be there or it's just because something they're not genuinely interested in, but because there's like that age disparity, which is a law, and they don't typically fit into like that group of friends. And think, for example, if you're someone who, you know, you want to get married and you want your friends, you know, to have like family beach trips and stuff like that, or just outings or vacationing with your friends and their own family, and that's not something that, you know, happens because obviously like age gap between your friend and their partners, and then your partner and yourself have like significantly large age gap, and so they do not fit into that or that circle of things. Then you might want to think about, okay, do I need to then give up this dream just to be with my partner? Absolutely up to you what you want to do, but these are things you want to take into consideration as well, and you know that the possibility of it actually happening will be the case. Another thing that might be a source of dissatisfaction in a large age gap relationship or marriage might also be family history or marital history. For example, if you're marrying someone who's like 15 or 20 years older than you are, then the possibility that they have gotten married to someone else before is probably high. And it's also the fact that they probably have gotten married to someone else before and the marriage didn't work, or they've had kids in their previous marriage. Then the dynamics of the relationship changes, isn't it? You're married to this person, but they're probably co-parenting with the other person. How comfortable are you being around that other person, co-parenting with them? Secondly, you might then want to ask yourself, how do you want to become a stepmom or a stepdad? How will you be, you know, with the kids, you know, them accepting you or not, you know, how you intend to treat them and stuff like that. Obviously, you will treat them well, right? But it's also like, is this something that you're comfortable doing? Will you be happily doing it because of the love for your partner? And you know, the dynamics that comes into like being a stepdad or a stepmom, is that something that you want to deal with, having to then deal with two families now? Okay, so when I say two families, I meant the family of the person they're co-parenting with and then the family of your partner. Those are already two in-laws, two sets of in-laws that you have to deal with in that relationship. And so it's really important to ask yourself, this thing I want to get to, is it worth me doing it? Am I okay to deal with the baggage that comes with this relationship? And let's even say that they're not married at all. Why hasn't this person gotten married up until now? That's also something you then want to find out. Is it that you've been celibate all the while? Or have you had previous relationships that didn't work? You know, these are questions you need to ask, because you can't just be there just being comfortable, not knowing what their marital past has been, whether or not they've had one. You know, that's something you want to find out, isn't it? And so, yeah, that dynamics happens a lot in like relationships where there are large age gaps. Another dynamics that comes into relationships with large age gap between the partners is also that of power imbalance. Okay, so because like I said earlier in this video, the older person has made more money, has built a lot of social capital before you probably met them, there's a tendency to have like a power imbalance in the relationship whereby the other person is using their financial prosperity to exert control over the other person. I'm not saying all partners in large age gap relationships do this, but I'm saying it could be something that will play out just because, okay, well, the other person has more money than the other person, then they use it to strong arm them into certain things or into making them make certain decisions that they will originally don't make. Because anyways, okay, let me see how you're going to take care of yourself if I withdraw your allowance for 3 months, or for example, if I stop giving you say an amount of money. And so that could cause some power imbalance in the relationship. And I think that could cause power imbalance would be like making decisions as well. Sometimes the older person, because of their life experiences and the wealth of experiences that they've had with situations and the ability to handle complex situations, can just go ahead and make a decision on behalf of themselves and their partners without consulting the younger person, just because, well, I have enough experience to handle this, and so why should I ask you? Okay, in healthy relationships this is not the case, but this can definitely happen. All right. And also, like, I'm not saying in normal situations or in normal relationships, not like to say this is abnormal. In relationships where the peculiarities are different, sometimes you need to make decisions on behalf of your partner when maybe things are really urgent and you can't reach them, or the timeline is really short and you know what they would want. But I'm not talking, that's not the situation I'm talking about here, or those are not the situations I'm talking about here. When it's really urgent and you can't reach your partner, or when the timeline is short and you absolutely need to make decision on the spot. I'm talking about you have all the time to make that decision, you have all the time to have involved your partner, but you did not involve them because, well, I have more life experience and these are, you know, some of the challenges you have to battle with. Another factor to take into consideration will be differences in life priorities, and this is the case for a lot of us. Like, as we grow in life, right, our priorities change. We have different things that we want to focus on at different points in time, and this is not different for your relationship. So if you, as a younger person, for example, your priority at this point in time in your life might be just to travel the world, you know, do adventurous things, you know, like satisfy your curiosity and stuff like that, then your partner absolutely does not loathe you, but do not even want to go on those adventures with you, just because, well, they've done it in the past, that they've been at the stage of their life where their priority was just to tour the world, see a lot of countries. They've done that, and so like they are not excited about the idea of traveling the world with you, and they have other priorities that they would rather focus on at this point in time. And so there might be that, well, you don't want to do the things I want to do with me, and it's not because they don't like you, it's not because they loathe you, like I said earlier, it's just because that's not what they want to do right now, right? They have other priorities that they want to focus on, or even the stage of life where they are in right now, it's not one that gives them a lot of the time to do the things that you want to do. Okay, and so that can be a potential cause of challenge in that relationship. So let's ask the questions that I asked earlier on at the beginning of this video. Is age really just a number? How much age gap is too much age gap between you and your partner? What are the consequences of marrying a partner that has a large age gap between you and them? And also, what is my opinion about marrying someone who is much more older than you are? So here's what I think. You can marry someone who is much older than you are or much younger than you are, and that will be the right relationship for you. That is absolutely what I think. And also, relationship age gap is one of the factors that will influence or guarantee the success of your relationship. It is not the only factor, okay? It's not a factor that can make or mar your relationship. There are other factors that you need to consider alongside relationship age gap. So it's not like, oh, once we have similar age gap, then we are okay. No, what you need to be focused on rather than the age gap, obviously you know all the factors that I've then shared in this video, right? The thing that you need to then focus on would be, what kind of belief systems do this person have, and what kind of belief system do I have? Do our values align? Do we believe in the same thing? Do we have the same worldviews? That whole list of things that you need to look at before you actually marry someone, right? You see one of my videos where I talked about how to identify the right man for you. So before you go ahead, just ensure that you've taking note of all the factors and the consequences I've shared in this video before you then go ahead to marry them or not. For me, there is no judgment about, you know, should you marry them or should you not marry them. Like I said earlier, if they're way older than you are or they're way younger than you are, they could still be the right person for you in that relationship. And so because they're way older or way younger doesn't mean that they're the wrong person for you. It's all about what you want, the values that you want in the person that you want to get married to, and if your goals, you know, and life ambitions align. So if you considered all of the factors that I spoke about in this video and you want to go ahead and get married to that person, absolutely please do go ahead. But also know that you need to then constantly communicate with your partner. You absolutely need to know that you're going into that relationship for the right reasons. Just because you share the same values, you have the same outlook to life, you know, you want the same things out of life, and not because, well, they're significantly made or they have the status that you want. You're not going into it for the status, but because you absolutely love that person. Also, you need to close your ears to people's judgment and to what they have to say, because people will absolutely talk all the time. And so you need to close off your ears to people's judgment and whether they think you're a gold digger or not, or you're in it for the status or not. Whatever they think is absolutely irrelevant. And honestly, all you have from me here is love and nothing but love. Let me know in the comment section if you have been in a relationship where your partner is significantly older or was significantly older than you are, or if you are in a relationship right now with someone who's significantly older than you are. How is it going? What tips do you have to share with us? Please let us know in the comment section below. And also, do not forget to hit the like button if you like this video, if you absolutely enjoyed it. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, from me, every single time, it's all love. Before I meet you the next time, please don't forget to be a better version of yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Adios.